Live look at the creation of the first Necron.
Let's leave like 90% of the humanity intact and let's see how that looks.
Okay, 90%.
Why is it so cold?
You can't possibly feel anything. You have no nerve endings.
My bones are achy too. And what's with all this metallic taste in my mouth?
Alright, this isn't working. Let's send him back through at, say, 65% humanity.
65%, you got it, boss.
Alright, let's see how this looks.
My skin is itchy. And this is boring.
Fucking what? You don't even have skin. What are you even talking about?
This gun is heavy. My legs are hard to move.
Fuck. Put him back through at 35%. I swear, it's becoming more work than it's worth.
Alright, it's pretty low, we got it.
How do you feel now?
My soul! I can't feel my soul! Why? It hurts so much!
That's closer to what I'm looking for, but you know what? Yep. Drop it all the way down to 5%. We need to wrap this shit up.
We're gonna be done in time for lunch.
How do you feel?
Affirmative.
Okay. And who is your leader?
Affirmative.
Okay. What color is the sky?
Affirmative.
Fuck it. This is gonna have to do.
Affirmative.
Hey?
Oh, guys, welcome. It is the 40K podcast, and as you can always tell, we're just always having a good time here. And I am one half of the hosting duties here, and that is Shane. And joining me is the illustrious Drew. Drew, how are you?
Doing good, feeling great.
I don't want to ever go to a Emperor's Children benefits concert with the Noise Marines.
I would just love the idea of seeing a news article of hero of the day, and it be you just seeing like your commander halfway through like cutting up one of his teammates in half.
Yeah.
They like hastily try to edit the uniform to look like the enemies.
Cut away. Oh, that's my best old-timey newsreel guy voice that I could come up with.
I liked it.
Oh, man. Oh, shit. So
sadly, that's probably not too far off to where the Imperium would be with like their newscasts and stuff like that.
Oh, trust me, buddy. I'm working on one for the Imperium, too.
Except instead of it being you watching that on a TV screen, you're going to be watching it on like a giant screen mounted inside a skull that's floating inside.
Look at how happy the Imperium is. Everything's honky-dory.
A criminal was lobotomized to make a TV there, son.
You've got a new friend. I know school's been hard and you haven't been able to make any friends, but here's your new lobotomized friend. He was a rapist.
TV rot your brain. Well, it didn't do his any favors. Oh.
This has turned into like a Groucho Marx thing.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. So, before we get too far into this, I want to tell everybody, actually, I'm going to scratch that, and we're going to first tell you what the episode's about. The episode today is we are doing part 2 of our Loyalist Legions that we picked at random to a point of like we liked them, and then a couple of them we picked because we didn't really know a lot about them. And as we started to learn more about them, oh buddy, I really started to get into them. I was really excited for them. So
yeah, it's kind of like what we did with Traitor Legions, in that we I don't know. We just picked some. We picked the ones that we liked. We didn't touch them all. Some of the major ones will get their own episodes, but this one is, one of the things that we wanted to do was at least shine a light on some of the more obscure ones that you may have never have heard of.
Yes, and we got obscure ones here today. So one is definitely not obscure. The other two, well, one's not even obscure. They're whipping post, and then the other one's obscure. So we got three flavors for you all here today. But as always, before we get into the episode, Drew, give me your invulnerable save. What's keeping you alive in this tumultuous world that we live in?
So I just read a short story about the Night Lords that had me cracking up. I was walking my dog, and I had it on audiobook, and I started laughing out loud while walking her, and I got like strange looks as people that were outside washing their cars and stuff. Basically, it tells the story of a Night Lord's attack on a world. This is during the Imperial Crusade, so they're technically good guys during this,
which is what makes it funnier.
Yes, and it starts with like an Imperial ambassador coming to a world that just got done fighting for freedom from an alien oppressor. So imagine like the movie Independence Day ends. You just defeated the alien. Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith are happy. They're smoking cigars and high-fiving, and everybody's rocking out in, well, I don't know, what was it, 98, whenever that took place. And then like 2 years later, year 2000, a bunch of like other giant spaceships and massive beef monster humans in freaking power armor and Imperial like freaking ambassadors come down, and they're like, wow, we're happy that you were able to defeat those dirty Xenos oppressors. We are offering you entry into the Imperium of Man. And then they're like, well, no, because we just earned our freedom, and we kind of like being free, and we don't really want to get back into being controlled by anybody. And they're like, yeah, no, but it's kind of a rhetorical question. Welcome to the Imperium.
It's like, let me rephrase this.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Imperium.
And then they're like, thanks, but no thanks. Like, fuck off. We want to be free. And then they're like, okay, see you in a little bit. And then they just like, and they're like, what do you think that they meant by that? And then it follows by this ambassador that was there. She's like, we failed them in more ways than one, especially for what happened next. So the legion that was sent in to bring them into compliance was the Night Lords. And so this planet was guarded by like a giant, massive like mothership. And the Night Lords basically come in, they do a stealth strike on this mothership. And before anybody down below has any idea of what like even happened, they have gutted the ship of all of its combatants. So you cut to like a lieutenant going into the bridge, and there is Conrad Kurz hunched over the captain's chair, licking blood off of his talon. And he basically tells him, he's like, there's 180,000 non-combatant civilians on this ship. Gather them into the storage hall. And then he says, there's an alarm I want you to activate once everybody is in the hall and we're done with our work. And he explains how that's the bell of victory for this civilization. And he's like,
hey, we won.
Yeah, I want you to ring it when I give the signal. And he's like, do you want to know how and he's like, yes, I learned about that, sir, by reading through like data slates and some of the archives on their ship. And then Conrad looks at him and he's like, I learned it by eating his heart. And then just keeps licking the blood off of his claws. It's like, this is a good guy. These are the good guys in this story that were sent in to bring them into compliance. So then they proceed to flay all of these civilian combatants, and then they ring that bell of victory, and all of the civilians come out into the streets, and they're celebrating and ticker tape parade, and everybody's happy, and then whap. What the hell was that? They look, and there's a giant, weird red paste that's on the ground, and then somebody screams, and then flap, and then that one's still wearing a uniform, and then flap, flap, flap. They talk about bodies landing and flattening cars, and people are getting crushed, everybody's screaming and getting trampled and flipping out. And then they start putting out distress beacons, and then it cuts back to like the Night Lords, and his commander's like, "Sir, we'll get right on stopping those distress calls." And he's like, "Why would we stop them? Bolster them. Strengthen those signals so that everybody in the entire system can hear what's happened here." He's like, I want them to know what we've done. I want all of their sister worlds to know what'll happen if, like, he basically is like, we're gonna bring them into compliance. Like, I'm not here for forgiveness. I'm here to do a job, and that is to get them to comply. Any means necessary. He goes, and that's what I do. He's like, we always get our end result that we're looking for. And he like fucking boosts the signal. And then he's like, send everybody down there. He's like, he's like, how many do we have in our company at the moment, or something like that? And he's like, he gives a number. He's like, send them all down planet side. And then that's where it ends. And it's like, oh shit, like they're gonna kill all those people.
You know what? I'm bored with this. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah. So I was listening to that though, and the entire time I'm just trying to picture the Emperor getting like fed the details of what's going on. He'd be like, they did what now? Oh yeah, Jesus, no. No. He told me he wouldn't do that again.
I like the fact that he's probably thinking, not again, god damn it.
Well, and like, the more you read about the Emperor, like, fucking, it's like with like the World Eaters. Before the World Eaters were the World Eaters, they were still like basically the World Eaters. It said that like the Emperor handpicked the troops for, I forget what they used to be before they were the World Eaters, but like that legion, he built them with like soldiers and people that showed like the most violent and like rage-filled tendencies, and he basically built them to be savage shock troops. They were like the war dogs or something like that, weren't they? And I think was like their name. And
something like that, yeah.
I don't know, somebody's gonna get mad about it, but like he basically, the Emperor already had sculpted them to like function that way. They were his like dogs of war, and sending them into the enemy, he knew like what was happening when he did that. And I feel like the Night Lords and all these other, like, he knew what he was doing when he's like, when somebody checked that box of like, who's getting sent in? Ultramarines? No. Night Lords, fuck it, why not? I'm bored. Let's mix it up.
Let's make it exciting for these people.
So that's my Invone save. Also, we need to do a whole episode on Night Lords and Conrad Kurz, because I'm reading his,
dude, they're fucking crazy.
Dude, oh my god, I'm reading a book on him right now, and it starts with him surrounded in the dark. He's in a pitch black chamber, and he's building, he can see in the dark. And they talk about like starlight, ambient starlight, like hurts his eyes. It's so bright, at least at this point. So he's in a pitch black room surrounded by dead bodies and just scattered viscera and pieces of people. And he's building a sculpture of the Emperor and having a conversation with him. He's like, you never loved me, father. What's that?
He's like Helga from Hey Arnold.
Dude,
but you know, super violent.
He's just building like a meat statue, and then he's like having a full, you wanted this all along, father. What's that? What did you say? It reminds me of like fucking Norman Bates or something like that. He's just a crazy man, and I love him.
But the Emperor can see, like, he sees the future. He can probably see this, like, he saw this happening at one point, and he didn't, like, step in and go, I should probably talk to the boy and let him know that he shouldn't be doing that.
No, he didn't care. I don't think that the Emperor cared.
Probably not. He's we'll get to him in a different episode, because he's kind of like he's like the poster child for absentee father, and like,
well, and it also like, it makes you wonder, because like the Emperor is this like omnipresent being, was he actually talking to Conrad through like the
Dude,
flesh statue that he made?
all of a sudden, I just got this image of fucking Malkador going, "No, don't do it, don't do it." He goes, "No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Check this out, Conrad." Oh shit! What are you doing, boy? Malkador doing, "Stop it, stop it. You're gonna freak him the fuck out."
I just you got me thinking of like fucking the Emperor is Hank Hill.
Right?
Primarch ain't right.
Right? Oh shit!
So that's my invone save. Shane, what do you got?
That was Drew's story time.
But
Mine. Ooh-wee. I had a lot to choose from, but I'm gonna go with growth. True growth. The numbers that we're seeing right now, for the podcast. Not expected. Like, I think in an earlier episode I had mentioned I was gonna be like super stoked if we got to like even 50 downloads by the end of the year. And we were already at like 80. I'm pleased to say that we're now at like 260, I think, 260 downloads. We have 7 followers on our Facebook page. I think we have, how many followers did you say we have on the actual website now? Is it 5?
I think so. Yeah.
5 followers. That's, hey, Manson couldn't even pull that off. So who's winning now? So,
that's a weird benchmark to have, but you know what? Hey, I'll take
it. Look, are we Jim Jones yet? No. Are we better than Manson? Slightly. So, it's just about
we're still
putting it all in
Flavor Aid.
perspective.
We haven't made it to Kool-Aid yet. We're still Flavor Aid.
Yeah, we're still in the Flavor Aid. So, appreciate all the love that we're getting. We're definitely seeing some heavy spikes in traffic. It's feeling good seeing those things. That's helps me come into these episodes with a little bit more pizzazz and a little more pop in my pep in my step, because the world is a very depressing place. So when you're comparing yourself to Manson, that's how you know the world's a depressing place. So and I've brought my invone save down to a mortal. Oh, but yes, no, I do appreciate the support so far. We felt the positive feedback we got, and the negative feedback we've gotten that helped us like kind of course correct some things right away.
Yeah.
So appreciering that.
Yeah,
So
we set out. This has always just been a passion project of for fun, but we're happy that people are enjoying it and that we're getting followers as we go forward. So
right, I mean we're on pace to hit 300 downloads before the end of the month. And I know everybody's like, that's nothing. That's hardly any. Like, to us though, it's huge. Like, because we are just 2 dudes posting on Facebook groups and Reddit and stuff, and just kind of let the dice fall where they may, and hope we get the double sixes. Oh wait, this is a psychic test. I don't want double sixes. Never mind. Give me a 6 and a 5. I'll take it.
Congratulations, you just melted your buddy.
I melted the hopes of the dreams of the podcast. So, jumping in, I was going to start with Black Templars, our favorite zealots of the successor chapter to the Imperial Fists. Brothers, like direct brothers of the Crimson Fist, who we covered in the previous episode. The Black Templars are one of my favorite sub-factions in the Space Marine, just in general, in the game itself. These dudes are maniacs. Like, they believe fervently in the Emperor to a religious degree. And that's not a good thing, technically speaking, because the God Emperor of mankind didn't ever want to actually be referred to as a god. He was very secular, very atheist. So these Black Templars have missed that memo, you could say. They're very devout. A lot of their stratagems are all based on like religious, dogmatic, like devout push, like stuff like that. They are very melee focused. They love a good melee scrap. They use bolter guns and they use everything else, but nothing beats chainsword into armor for a Black Templar. So much so that these guys believe so fully in their, let's say, commitment to the battle that they chained their weapons to their hands. So, like, they can't drop them in battle, no matter what. The only way you're going to get a Black Templar disarmed is by literally disarming him. He cannot have arms anymore. That's it. That's the only way you're going to get that fucking dude to drop his weapon. They are what happens when you weaponize religion to a very, very specific, fantastical point.
Well, it's like it's like the movie Sister Act, and then you have like it's a movie about like religious nuns who are very pious and everything, and then there's like the one really mean like bitch nun that you're just like, oh god, she's even crazy. It's like an army of all of that person. Basically, like they're the religious zealots that make all of the other crazy religious zealots just seem like a bunch of frat guys in Cancun.
Yeah, they don't seem as committed to the cause as the Black Templar.
Yeah, it's like you drink you drink a little bit of sweet tea there. Mm-hmm. Wow, savage, crazy. Like what do you drink? I only consume my the designated gross Vita paste that the Imperium said. It's like
because it keeps me pure for the Emperor.
Yeah, like isn't there something with like Black Templar where one of them got sent on like a suicide mission one time because they heard him laugh or something like that?
Yeah, I forget the whole story, but yes, essentially the dude got like showed some sort of emotion other than fervent anger and violence towards the enemy, and they're like, "Oh, you're just not for us anymore. So hey, you know what? We got a special mission for you, buddy. You're gonna run in there and do some scouting for us. Is anybody coming with us? No. Fuck you.
What am I looking for? Go in that field. You're gonna be looking for landmines.
You'll know it when you see it." They have cool characters. They have the Emperor's Champion. He's not a named character, but he's just basically like the best swordsman that the Imperium pretty much has. And he's a chosen one of the Emperor. He is to take his sword and he is to slay as many demons as possible with it. He's a fucking butcher on the field. He's got cool rules and stuff in his actual rule book. I haven't actually picked up the Black Templar rule book. I had the old Space Marine book, but I hope in Black Templar one gave it a little bit more justice. But he's a badass. Then you got Grimaldus, the survivor of the Hell's Reach battle, which that dude's just an animal. For being a chaplain, he is a fucking, like, you hear the word chaplain and you think, oh, he's like a priesty guy. He just kind of like comes around and gives the boys a boy and goes on about. No, Grimaldus will fuck you up. He is a monster, and he has a little retinue of like little servitor men with him. He's a cool, very cool model if you want to pick him up. Just to even, if you're not interested in the army, pick these models up. The Emperor's Champion, Grimaldus, and High Marshal Helbrick. Very cool models in the line if you just want to get into the hobby of it. But Grimaldus, he was known for surviving Hell's Reach, which was like essentially like a no-win situation. Orcs were fucking everywhere, and they found his ass underneath some rubble, like punching through, like still like ready to go. Like he had fought for like days on end and just basically went on a murder spree of orcs to no end.
They had to drop a building on him to take him out.
And they dropped a fucking building on this guy, essentially. And they're like, that got him. And then his fist comes up through the fucking bricks like Shredder at the end of fucking... at the end of Turtles 2. And they're like, oh shit, he's still going. And instead of his hand just dropping back down, no, he keeps coming up. And he's ready to keep going. So don't fuck with Grimaldus is what I'm getting at. But then you have High Marshal Helbrick, and he's another one that's he's called a High Marshal. He's a chapter master for the Black Templars.
Like the Black Templar, they like to organize themselves into what is it, crusades led by.
They're
marshals.
on an eternal crusade, sir.
Well, yeah, but like they split themselves into like crusade forces, and then each of those crusade forces are led by a marshal, essentially. Like
and then
they basically they look at the Codex Astartes, and they're just like,
no, I'm not doing that.
yeah, we don't want your devil book.
because the Codex Astartes basically says you can't have more than 1,000 Marines unless you're in the middle of a crusade. So because basically High Marshal Helbricht said, so if we're in a crusade, we can have more than 1,000 Marines. And they're like, well, yeah, but you can't just be in a crusade whenever you want. And he's basically like, that's where you're wrong, my friends. And he just sent the Black Templars on an eternal crusade. And the dude, Helbricht, I was starting one of his books, and he is a military genius. Like, he is one of the most brilliant minds the Imperium has. And he's a fucking devastating duelist. He's amazing with his, sword and everything. He fucked up Imhotep. And if you know the lore, Imhotep is Necron. He's, what the fuck's his name? The Stormlord. And they battled for a long time, and he kept beating him down. And the guy, Necrons have shitty plot armor, so Imhotep kept resurrecting. And finally, he cut off Helbricht's hand. But that didn't stop Helbricht. Helbricht said, okay, going back to the ship, I'm chasing after this asshole. And he has made it his personal business to fuck Necrons up as often as possible.
Well, yeah, because Imhotep had to teleport away, and
because Helbricht was fucking him up.
Yeah, well, and then Imhotep being the weird person he was, he's like, you have won this battle, and then Skeletor'd away, and then fucking Helbricht got so fucking rage angry that he destroyed everything, all the whole tomb ship and stuff that he was on.
Yeah, he's don't fuck with the Black Templars, okay? And okay, so another thing too, if this sounds cool and they sound like your kind of army, they're super fucking easy to paint. Do you want to know why? Because they're just black. They're black with white shoulder pads. That's it. If you're like, I'm not a very good painter, you can slap a fucking Black Templars army together so fucking quick.
All you do is you base them with black, and you're over halfway done.
Yeah, couple layers of gray and white on the shoulder pads, and bing bang boom, you've got yourself some Black Templars. and if you really want to go exquisitely detailed, you can put some red trim on the shoulder pads to notate sword brethren and whatnot. So, just saying.
I love stories where the Black Templar fight the Tau. And I just imagine it as the fucking, because the Black Templar are all about getting up close into melee, and the Tau
are not that at all.
They don't want to be in melee. And it's literally I just imagine them like a Tau fire warrior turning around, and then they're just being a Black Templar staring at him, and the Tau looking down and seeing his little honor blade, and then the Black Templar pick it up, do it, come on, grab the knife. Pick up the fucking knife, and then
pick up the fucking knife. I want you to. I dare you to.
And then the Tau warrior being this will be a duel of honor, and whoever comes, and he's just pick up the fucking knife. Come on, you little pipsqueak, do it. Get the knife.
And then as soon as he reaches and touches it, he just buries it.
The fire warrior trying to plunge it into the Black Templar breastplate, and the knife just bending.
I'm gonna beat you up, little boy. I got what you want.
just one hand and just crushes his skull.
The Black Templar are the Brock Sampsons of the fucking. Go ahead, take it from me.
4 fire warriors just look at each other to just run away.
Nope.
We humbly request that you drop your sword and join the greater good.
Go ahead. Try to take it from me.
2 Tau look at each other, just nod their heads. No, don't do it. Leave him be. Another thing about the Black Templars is because they are such religious fanatics, and they believe the doctrine so passionately. They do not allow psychers in their chapter at all. They are a psycher-free zone because they basically believe if you're a psyker, you're bringing that bad juju warp shit into the unit, you're going to fucking taint one of us, and we ain't going to have that. So fuck off. No psychers. They abhor the witch, as you could say in the game. They fucking hate the witches. They get bonus rules to deny the witch tests because of how much they hate psychers. And they get bonus points for killing psychers, because again, they fucking hate psychers. So they go after psychers with a hard passion when they're on the field of battle, both in the game and in the lore. They fucking hate them, and I do love that about them, because it's like this really fun juxtaposition for me, because I'm Grey Knights. I love playing my Grey Knights, and yeah, they're all psychers.
One of the things that I love about the Black Templar is the fact that only I think Helbert, the High Marshal, I think he's the only one that knows how many of them there are.
Yes.
So it's just
yeah, he has literally like flipped Gulliman off before, like basically like Gulliman's like, how many men do you have on your order? And he just like, yep, going on a crusade, be back in 5. And they're like, wait, but how many do you have? Well, fuck, too late, man, I gotta go.
It's just like, we just keep making them.
Going out for some smoke.
Yeah. It's just like the stamp of like, the Black Templar are requesting more soldiers. It's like, how fucking many of them are there? What do they got? Like, fucking Lamenters, man, are down to like 300 out of 1,000. I don't even know how many. Just give me a number. Fuck you. I need more. But how many of them are you? Fuck you. I need more men.
What part of this don't you understand, bro?
What are you battling, evil? How you quantify that? Work with me here, okay?
It's a lot. That's how you quantify it.
Listen, okay?
It's a metric fuck ton. That's how much evil there is.
I'm telling you as clear as I can, okay? We're battling the forces of evil, and I need more men if we're going to succeed at it. I hate it. I don't want to be your accountant anymore.
I think at a certain point, though, they just have to be like, fuck it, just send them some, like, I don't know, send them 500. Like, that's a good, simple, all right, you got us 500. I still need more. The fuck do you mean you need more? You could not be below half strength. There's no way you're below half strength. Who said I was below half strength? Because 500 plus 500 would be 1,000, and you're not supposed to have more than 1,000. I told you I'm on a crusade. Fuck.
I would love for, if I were to like 41K, if they were to move the story along further, I would love to see Gilliman split into his own faction. Like, have him and Call become their own faction, since they're technically like, they're now kind of enlightened, like they're they're enlightened. Yeah, they're like enlightened. They've already advanced the tech. You have Primaris and all that stuff. Black Templar, didn't they have a thing where they purged like all of the Primaris that they were sent in one of the batches? I think they've now come to accept Primaris, but like when they first like sent them Primaris Marines, didn't like the Black Templar kill them off?
I don't know if that was the Black Templar or not. It might have been the Black Templar.
I
do remember that story. I just can't remember who it was.
Like
I do remember there was a Loyalist Legion that was like, "Oh no, fuck that."
Yeah, like I want to say, I'm gonna go with it because we're talking Black Templar, and I think that's who it was. But they looked at Primaris how you would expect like Space Marines to look at it. They were like, new and weird. I must kill you, larger me, and so they did. And so I like, if you were to advance it, it would be neat to have like the new Imperium, like basically like a Secund, what was it, Secundus or whatever, Imperius Secundus.
Yeah.
Which fucking Gilliman was going to be in charge of anyways. Him and poor Birdman who got murdered.
Sanguinius. Birdman that got murdered.
you know what I meant.
He is literally referred to as Angel of Death, all these other things. You call him Birdman that got killed.
You knew what I was talking about, though. Listen.
I did. I'm sad to say I didn't know that.
He's got long, flowing gold locks and angel wings. He's the Birdman that got murder killed. And so you do...
Played by Michael Keaton.
No. Sean Bean.
Sean Bean? Yeah.
because he dies in everything he's in. But you do like I would love to see a Gilliman and Call led faction of the Imperium, because I feel like they have hovered, like their technology is more advanced, it's more stable. It is what it is. Like he's trying to build the actual Imperium as to what he wanted, and then I could see like Black Templar almost becoming like the main force of Imperium Classic, if you will. Like
Bobby G is New Coke, and
Yes.
they're Coke Classic.
But like the fucking Black Templar, they're in like the thousands. So they are a force to be reckoned with. They're zealous to a dangerous degree. Like them mixed with nuns with guns.
Sisters of Battle, Adeptus Sororitas.
Yes. Like I like having it be, it's at that point they're not just space marines. Like they are the militant wing of the Imperial Church, and that's it. More so than what
Right.
Space Marines already are. I think that could be a neat spin. And you have
Not
like
to mention, there is some fuckery going on, like as we know in the main lore of the game right now. Cypher showed up, saved Gulliman's ass, and they were going to be like, okay, you get to have audience with the Emperor now, and then instead they threw his ass in prison. So,
yeah.
you know, that's not good.
Well, fucking Bobby is he's a bit of a narc. He's well, I don't know. I just gotta I just don't trust it.
Well, I thought, I said, Father, you just got to let me have my way, you can't let this man who claims to need audience with you. I don't trust him. He might sever the power line to your golden throne. And then what? Then we'll be having to stay in Bill's house because we won't be able to afford the bills anymore. Just.
What if like fucking? I feel like Cypher doesn't help himself either, because I feel like what's your plan with that sword? Shh! Oh, don't shush me. I'm trying to help you here. What's your plan? Shh! I don't want to talk about it. Why'd you save me? Shh! Shut up! Just don't stop talking.
We're not talking about that either.
Like, where'd you come from?
Don't worry about that.
This is my job.
He's like the dog whisperer.
But no. Oh, I'm gonna go away now. And then like fucking like Rabute, with all the shit that was just thrown at him, like he came out of a coma mid battle and immediately just had to start fighting. Like that story of his like rebirth,
his resurrection, essentially.
It was in the middle of a battle, and he just comes to and is like,
a battle they were not winning until he came to. Like,
no,
it was not looking good.
He came to and he's like, who put shit in my pants? What happened? Enemies. And then just like went nuts and like fucking like, it's like he suddenly woke up and he's like, what? Yeah, he went like full like fawn for a second, or like
what? Swing the sword!
Rage in his eyes and the smell of toast in his nose. Oh shit!
You guys know what arm goes numb when you're having a heart attack? Where am I?
And then like,
who the fuck's head am I holding?
He's at a point now where like he's seen shit happen. He, like the martyr of the Cerritas, the one martyr, and like he's seen like living angels and all this shit. And even he like his first battle post resurrection with Mortarion melted the flesh off of his skull, and then he was revived that same battle and like went back and killed Mortarion, or well, as much as you can kill a mortal demon Primarch.
Say what you will about Gulliman, the man's got grit.
Like, what is that? What happened? It's like, oh yeah, well, your flesh on your skull got melted off by the super
Why
smallpox.
Why did he do that? My wife's not even gonna want to look at me anymore.
Like he's at this weird point now where he's just kind of going along with it because everybody around him is like a crazy religious zealot, and he's just like, okay, just keep a low profile.
You're right.
Everything's going to be copacetic. I feel like Call, upon like seeing him again, he's like, Jesus, finally somebody who's level-headed, man. This shit's crazy. All right.
Dude, you know, he had to have been like, thank the Omnissa. God damn it.
So what's your plan for getting us out of here? And then he's just like, what? I've been frozen
Give me a
for
minute.
how long? Oh, Dad, you're all bony. He's just a man who's just trying to just.
Gosh darn it all. This is terrible.
Oh shit.
Why does Dad look like Stephen Hawking?